Hey worship leader, welcome back to the channel. Now I've had the pod go, there it is, for several weeks now, and I've been able to use it live several times, and many of you have been asking me, Jimmy, what's your workflow for the pod go? So that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to show you exactly how I've decided to set it up and what's the best for me when I go to play live as a worship leader. Now keep in mind, I'm a worship leader. I'm leading a band, I'm singing most of the songs most of the time, and I normally play rhythm guitar. Every now and then I'll play some lead lines, but this is my workflow for my position. If you're a lead guitar player only and you have much more time to think about things to step on, you might want to do it a little differently, but this is my workflow. So let me show you. Now before we get too deep into everything, I wanted to let you know the sponsor of today's video is the Expanse Pack. My Expanse Pack, yes, it's sponsored by me. The Expanse Pack, which I make for all of the Helix products, whether it's the HX Stomp XL, HXFX, regular HX Stomp, or the Helix is too big. I'm not gonna lift it up here. I make it for all those, but now it's available for the Pod Go as well. And I'm actually gonna show you some of the stuff that's in there today and how I use it, because it's what I use when I play live. There's a lot of stuff in there and I'm adding to it all the time. Plus, you pay once, you get updates for free for live. That's right, it's not a subscription, you just pay once. If you wanna read more about what's in there and for your particular device, if you own more than the Pod Go, click the link in the description to go read it. And also, since I got you here, let me show you a little secret, a little off topic, but it's pretty exciting. Look what I have in my possession, the Bridge 6 and the Bridge 4 from PirateMidi. Already been digging into them a little bit, and I'm excited to show you more about these in the near future. So make sure you subscribe, like the video if you do, obviously, and yeah, stick around because I got more good content coming right around the corner. Okay, so the first thing you need to know about how I use this live is I've been doing this a lot lately on all the Helix products, honestly, and that is using a preset per set, not per song, meaning I make sure that my BPMs are set to Snapshot. I use snapshots for different songs rather than presets for different songs. What this does is it ensures that I don't have a cutoff from song to song. And like I said, I keep things pretty simple. I usually just use one sound per song. I use my pickup switch, and I also stay in stomp mode so that I can have some flexibility to click on and click off different things. But let me show you how to set your BPM per snapshot on the Pod Go. All right, so to get to global settings, you're gonna push this hamburger menu, which is page left, page right at the same time. There's the global settings. You click that knob and you scroll over to MIDI tempo, and the fourth button here is tempo select, and we want it either per global, preset, or snapshot. Leave that on snapshot. Also, let's scroll over to foot switches and make sure that our foot switches here are on 4, not 6. You can do it 6, which is great, but I like to leave it on 4 so that these two switches right here scroll up and down through my snapshots, which you will need to make sure that this is set to snapshots instead of banks or presets. So now that we have all that set up, you push home, you can see I'm in stomp mode, which has 4 switches here, and this will scroll through my snapshots. I'm basically using one of my worship templates here. Up here you can see the Expanse Pack. This is everything that's in it. I actually made a video last week, 2 weeks ago, showing you kind of all my highlights of what's in here. But there it is. There's everything that's in the Pod Go Expanse Pack. You got some swells and stuff. But in here you have 2 worship templates, and I set them up so that you can just copy and paste the preset down somewhere else, which is what I did. I labeled it the date, and I only used 1 preset. I didn't even need to use 2 because we only did just a couple songs. I will say, for those of you who have already downloaded the Expanse Pack for the Pod Go, I'm gonna update this in the next one, but some of these delays were actually before the amp, and they were in mono when I transferred them over from the other Expanse Pack, but everything in here is in stereo, so now I scooted them past the amp block. You also need to put them on the other side of the cab as well, like this. So if we go back down to December 19th, which was this past weekend, I actually labeled the songs, I think. Oh Come All Ye Faithful, Emmanuel, God With Us, The First Noel, and Go Tell It on the Mountain. Those were our 4 songs. And as you go through the snapshots, you can hit Command 1, Command 2 on your computer to go through the snapshots. You can see up in the left-hand corner, no, the right-hand corner of the screen, that the BPM is changing per snapshot. That's what we want. And so those are the BPMs of the song. And what's cool about that is you can go to your delay pedals and set up certain parameters to change via the snapshots. Let me show you how to do it. So I'm here on a delay pedal. I hit this button right here and I click snapshots. And that way, this could change, doesn't have to, could change with each snapshot. Sometimes I might want a quarter, sometimes I might want a dotted 8. Let's leave this one on a quarter now. I might want to change the feedback. Wow, Flutter can stay. The scale I like to change sometimes, because if I'm on a quarter and I scale it back to 75%, it'll give me a quarter and a dotted eighth. Little secret if you didn't know that. And the mix is also important to change via snapshots, because the mix and stuff might change per song. Then I would save this, Command S, and then go to my other delay and do the same thing. Note sync, snapshots, feedback, snapshots, scale, snapshots, and mix, snapshots. Save. Now as I go from song to song, I can dial in exactly what I want. All right, so let's hear what the sound was on snapshot 1. Super wet, I had both delays on, and hey, it sounds pretty good. It filled up space. Now for me, all I have to do is with my foot click the up button and I'm already ready for the next song. And notice that the trails will keep going. So they went right on to the next song. Now that song was actually a very similar tone, but the BPMs changed. You can see when I go from one snapshot to the next how the BPMs change. Now, if I were on snapshot 2 and I wanted to make this back to a quarter and bring the scale down to 75%, I could save that on that snapshot, go back to my other snapshot and come back to it, and you can see that those things change. So here's snapshot 1. Anyway, so that's what I do. I set up everything beforehand on Snapshot so I can just scroll through them. But like I said, I leave things in stomp mode so I can turn on and off different things as I need them. Because if I was at the beginning of like the first song, it's super wet, I could turn everything off if I want to and get my clean sound again. If you look at the screen here, and if we were to go to our global settings and go back to 6 foot switches, you can see I actually have a Timmy here and a level boost if I wanted it. This is another level boost that levels up the 10 band EQ when that is engaged. So when I play and I only have my 4 foot switches, I actually have these 2 hidden, but I did set them up how I would want them in the Snapshot, so they come on and off anyways. But that's the only drawback if you're going to the 4 foot switch mode instead of the 6 foot switch mode, that some of your foot switch assignments might be hidden. But if you don't do it, then you won't be able to scroll through your snapshots like this. So give and take. One more thing, a lot of times what I'll do is I will delete an effect. Sometimes I don't want to delay here and I will add like a mod. A lot of you know my favorite mod in here, the chorus that I love, is the dimension chorus. I like to set it up like this, bring this down to 50%. And sometimes I'll use a chorus, and when I do, this is how I have it set up. Sounds beautiful. Love it. All right, well, I hope that was helpful. If it was and you want to support the channel, please check out my Expanse Pack down below. A lot of people love it, and it just helps you get really good tones really quickly. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel because, like I said, I got some good stuff coming up in the very near future. Have a Merry Christmas if I don't see you before then, and a Happy New Year. I'm excited to see what next year is going to bring. I got a lot of things I'm working on, and sometimes it's a lot, you know, but I'm glad you're here. Glad you're along for the ride. I'm definitely not going anywhere, so I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.